people who may look like the other nations. You know, and that's why you have to approach this thing with the spiritual mindset. You know, you can't be walking around, you know, judging everybody by their appearance, man. You know?
Yeah, because this thing is spiritual. Just to back you up on that, this is Jeremiah 12:9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field come to devour. So his heritage is what? Is of a speckled bird. That's why this thing is spiritual. We read that in Romans 8:16. Spirit bear witness with our spirit, right? 1 John 4:1, where it speaks about the spirit. Okay, you're testing out the spirits of people as far as their doctrine. Are they coming in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai? Okay. Do they have the understanding of this word?
I got it too. Yeah.
You want to get it on the phone? 2 and 9 and then 10 and go into the word name.
Still want me to read it though? Philippians.
You get Colossians 1 and 16.
All right, come. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse 16. I'll start at 15. Who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature? That's speaking about Yahweh Shai, and that image is a copy. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. So hey, Yahweh Shai regulates everything, man. Every kingdom, every mindset. Okay, Yahweh Shai is in control of everything, man.
Sirach 18 and 1 down to 3. He that liveth forever created all things in general. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai only is righteous, and there is none other but he, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand. And all things obey his will, for he is the King of all, capital K. By his power dividing holy things from among them from profane. And that's what we're professing, the return of the king, man. You know, Yahweh Shai, man. Heralding in the return of the king.
I got one more, bro. So like, Sirach 11 and 5. Many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of have worn the crown. And that's speaking about the prophets, man, because the people see us as, you know, oh, he's from the ghetto, the reservations, or, you know, the barrios. But in reality, Yahweh is going to give us that crown, okay, which is victory, man, and glory and dominion.
This is Isaiah 45 and 17. But Israel shall be saved, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai with the everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, the world without end. And that's speaking about the kingdom going into a world without end. Okay, because this is an everlasting kingdom. This is not for 1,000 years like some false prophets will be saying, that it's only for 1,000 years. They're trying to put a hedge on Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay?
Cap.
Yeah, they're trying to, yeah, that's what they are,
I want
capping.
to get Hebrews, the first chapter, and the whole 1 through 7. Let
me get this real quick.
Come,
you got something?
Hebrews
1 Corinthians.
Get that after. Okay.
All right, so this is 1 Corinthians 15.
Oh no, after this.
All right, come.
Okay, Philippians 2, and I'll start at verse 8. It says, and being found in fashion as man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross, talking about Yahweh Shai. It says, wherefore the Most High also have highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name.
Go into that word exalted, Baba Kasha.
Yep. All right, so the word exalted says to extol most highly, to be lifted up with pride, exalted beyond measure, to carry oneself loftily, to exalt to the highest rank and power, raised to supreme majesty.
To the highest rank. Okay, and we know that Yahweh Shai, what he's gonna have the name, you know, written on his his garment, okay, which you go into
his rank, his authority.
His authority, you know?
Verse 10, that at the name of Yahweh Shai, every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in the earth and things under the earth.
Yep, and that came out in the book of Isaiah, the 45th chapter. We just brought that out around the 20th verse or so. You want to pull up name, Baba Kasha?
It says, all right, it says, this is the name, it says, the name is used for everything which the name covers, everything that the thought or feeling of which is I'll just read it all right here. Feeling of which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name for one's rank, authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellence, deeds, etc.
It goes into Yahushai's rank and authority, man. Every knee's gonna bow to Yahushai's rank and authority, which is not happening right now.
I got
You know?
a quick precept. Psalms 95 and 6. Oh, come and let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, our Maker.
Yep. Because, you know, he's, you know, he's the king, man. The King of Kings.
I got that
You know?
right here. Revelation 19 and 16. And he had his vesture and his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Okay? And that's Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. When you go into that the word name, it goes into what? His rank, his authority. Because what? He's been given dominion through Yahweh that was given authority to Yahweh Shai. Because of what? Him being that perfect lamb. Okay, that goes back to his authority and his rank, right?
And that came out in the book of Matthew, the 28th chapter, which you read earlier. All power in heaven and earth is given unto Yahushai. You know?
So there's 1 Corinthians 15 and 22. For as in Adam all die, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive.
And we're being made alive through this word, you know?
Verse 23, but every man in his own order.
Every man in his own order.
Rank.
You know, rank. You know? And that proves that, you know, that proves a few things. You know, that there's order in this thing and there's rank in this thing. You're not going to have a man who is teaching the MOTB is spiritual be on the same level as a man who was standing still for the name of Yahweh Shemi Shai, getting called all sorts of names and so on and so forth. You know, that's just not. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. No.
You know, and it's like that for a reason. You know, because there's a rank and authority. You know, coming to the men of Yahweh Shemi Shai who stand still for this doctrine, and that's why, you know, the Spirit's been hopping on men to push men to do more and to go harder, man.
Yeah.
Because a great reward is coming unto the men who finish, man. We went to the word power earlier in Revelation, the 2nd chapter, you know.
Because again, when you're quickened by this word, you're gonna want to do the work, even when you're sick or whatever. Because what you fear, Yahweh Shemi Shai, you fear what you know is could happen. Okay, we know the missiles are gonna come. We know Esau's coming in like a flood, and those men are gonna what? Fear Yahweh Shemi Shai. They're not gonna be, you know, resting on their laurels. They're not gonna be, you know, doing certain things like trying to charge the congregation, charge the flock, far as for this word. They're gonna be out here preaching this word in truth and sincerity, wanting to wake up the hopeful elect. Those that are inquiring, they want to teach, right?
So back to 1 Corinthians 15 and 23. But every man in his own order, Hamashiach the first fruits, afterward, they that are Hamashiachs at his coming.
Hamashiach, the first fruits, you know, the house of David, you know, those who were with him in the beginning.
Yep. The first
you know,
church.
the Alahayim,
Yep.
and then the rest of the elect, you know? Perfect order.
Verse 24, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered of the kingdom to Yahweh, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power.
And that's when he comes on that fathership. He's coming to set down Esau, Edom's power, rule, and authority and set up his kingdom, man. And that's what we're heralding, you know? We're professing and prophesying the return of the king. And that's what he's coming to do. Set down all power, rule, and authority and give that power, rule, and authority to his joint heirs, you know? And that's real rulership and dominion on a level that we can't even comprehend in these mortal bodies, man. In its fullest, man. You know, we know in part, we prophesy in part.
This is back up. 1 Corinthians 12 and 8. It's like 1 Corinthians 12 and 28. And our power, Yahweh has set some in the church, first apostles, secondary prophets, thirdly teachers. After that, miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues. So everybody has what their lot. 1 Corinthians 3:16, where it says we are that body, that spiritual temple. That's why you have brothers coming in, you know, different languages, you know, but they're what? They're all preaching the same word in truth and sincerity. You know, you have brothers over there in the UK, you have brothers over there in Italy. Okay, but what are they coming in? The spirit of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay.
So back to 1 Corinthians 15 and 25. For he must reign until he had put all enemies under his feet. Verse 26, the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. And that's Esau, Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. Esau's like unto death. That's for that.
Hebrews 1 and 7.
1 and 1 through 7.
Okay,
Get the whole thing, yeah.
Done. Hebrews 1 and 1. Our power Yahweh, who had sundry times in the diverse manners spoken the time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
And he that was a prophet before time was called a seer. And the prophets are back, man. 1 Samuel 9 and 9. We won't get it, we'll just breeze through it.
Hebrews 1 and 2 hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, who hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world.
Heir of all things, man. The King of Kings. You know, all power in heaven and earth is given unto you, Yahushua. And every knee's gonna bow, man. The most exalted, you know?
Hebrews 1 and 3, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. So he has what? Purged us of our sins. Okay, he's the reason why we have this grace period, why we rehearse the righteous acts. Without Yahawashi, what we can't be quickened. We were what, those dry bones, Ezekiel 37.
He was the only one that was able to open up the scrolls, man. You know, the conquering lion of Judah, man.
And when he opened that book, when they opened that book, what they were amazed. They were so, you know what I mean? They were quickened. Okay, Hebrews 1 and 4, being made so much better than the angels, has he had by inheritance attained a more excellent name than they. Okay, so that goes into Revelation 19 and 10, where it speaks even the angels. That's why you're not supposed to worship the angels. Okay, because what? They're coming in the same thing by worshiping Yahawashi HaMashiach. Let me read that again. Hebrews 1 and 4.
That angel told John the Revelator, don't worship me,
Yeah.
worship the Heavenly Father, because I am your fellow servant and thy brethren.
Done. Because in the spirit world, Yahawashi is already on the right-hand side.
Yep.
He's just waiting for the prophecies. Okay, he's waiting for the prophecies to become back, because we know that one day to them is 1,000 years to us. Okay?
And
It's
Yahawashi
only been a couple of years.
also comes in the volume of the book because he was in Joshua the 5th chapter as far as the captain of the host of the armies. And that's why Joshua bowed down and worshiped him, man. You know, because that was Yahawashi.
It's terrifying.
You know?
Hebrews.
And what was Yahawashi wielding? As far as what did he have? A sword, man.
So Hebrews 1 and 4, let me read that again. Hebrews 1 and 4, being made so much better than the angels, hath he had by inheritance attained a more excellent name than they. And that goes back to what we read in Revelations 19. We're speaking about his rank. Okay? Hebrews 1 and 5, for unto which of the angels said he at any time, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee, and again I will be to him the father, and he shall be to me the son. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten in the world, okay, and that's Yahawashi speaking, the first begotten son, right, into the world, he said, and let the angels of our power Yahweh worship him.
So even the angels worship Yahawashi, man.
And, and that's a decree. Okay, to what? Worship the Son. Okay, worship Yahawashi. So those that say, oh, we don't worship Yahawashi, you're going off.
Okay, Psalm 2nd chapter, kiss the Son.
Kiss the Son and lest he be angry.
So you gotta honor him, kiss him spiritually, and bow down to him, man.
Good.
Can you get Hebrews 1 and 6 again, Baba Gashan?
Good, I got you. Hebrews 1 and 6, and again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he said, and let all the angels of our power Yahweh worship him.
1 and 5, Baba Gashan.
1 and 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Hebrews 1 and 5, for to which the angels said, he at any time, thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee, and again I will be to him a father, and he be to me a son.
The book of Mark 9, I'm gonna read 4 down to 7. And there appeared unto them Elijah, with Moses, representing the law and the testimony.
Yep.
And they were talking with Yahawashi. And Peter answered and said unto Yahawashi, Master, it is good for us Is it good? It's like a master. It is good for us to be here. Is it good for us to be here?
And he also call him master.
Yep.
Yep.
Capital M.
Out of one kind.
And let us make 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, and one for Elias, one for Elijah. For he wist not what to say, for they were sore afraid. And there was a cloud that overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud saying, "This is my beloved son, hear him." Which matches up with Exodus, the 23rd chapter and the 20th verse. But behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way. Beware of him, hearken unto his voice. You know?
Because Moses symbolizes the law, right? And
Elijah represents the testimony, the prophets.
And then he that is greater than me is with the like cloud, right? That you read
Yep.
right there, which is Yahawashi, okay?
Get that in Revelation, bro? Chapter?
Yeah, come.
Okay, this is the book of Revelation chapter 5 and verse 11. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beasts, and the elders. And the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands.
11, down to 13.
Revelation 5:11,
Yeah, come.
verse 12. Saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. Verse 13. And every creature which is in heaven and on earth and under the earth and such as are in the sea and all that are in them, heard I saying, blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb forever and ever.
That matches up with what we just read in Isaiah the 45th chapter and Philippians 2 and 9. Every knee is gonna confess, every tongue's gonna bow. Those under the sea, on the earth, so on and so forth, man. Roughly paraphrasing, man.
Verse 14.
That was
And the four goes into worship.
Come.
And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshipped them that liveth forever and ever. 1,000 years ago.
You want to get
Everlasting.
Finish out 7?
Yeah, come.
Yeah. So Hebrews 1 and 6. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he said, and let all the angels of our power Yahweh worship him. And the angels, he said, who maketh the angels spirits and ministers of flame of fire.
And Yahawashi, man, he's the first begotten of the living.
Yep.
And the first begotten of the dead, man. Let me get this real quick. Let me see. 1 and 5. Come. Yep. Revelation 1 and 5. Yep. I'm gonna get 1 and 4. Yeah, come. I'm gonna just get 3. Yep. 3 down to 5. You want to get 2nd Ezra 8, 19 down to 24, and then we'll close on that with that. Yeah. Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth. And if you go into this word readeth, it means to understand, to comprehend, to know, to accurately know. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy. If you can hear, that means you can understand.
That's why it says, blessed are your eyes for they see.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
Blessed-
he also said, if any man have an ear, let him hear.
Yep.
Come.
Come. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, that understand. Blessed is he that readeth, that know, and that comprehend as well. And keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand, and the time is at hand right now. Revelation 1 and 4, John said, it's like John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, which is what the brother has in the menorah right there, It's
Yeah.
symbolic of the 7 churches in Asia Minor where the elect were, Blessed is he that readeth, John to the 7 churches which are in Asia Minor, grace be unto you and peace. And who's Yahawashi known as? The King of Salem, the King of Peace, the King of Righteousness, the Prince of Peace, John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you and peace, from which is, and from which was, and from which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne, and from Hamashiach Yahawashi, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his blood, and had made us kings and priests unto the Most High and his Father, and had made us kings and priests unto the power and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
That's an every priest, bro.
Oh, come. What y'all about Shemel Shai? Call all y'all about Shemel Shai.
This is Second Hedges 8 and I'll start at verse 17. It says, therefore will I begin to pray before thee for myself and for them, for I see the falls of us that dwell in the land. But I have heard the swiftness of the judge which is to come. Therefore hear my voice and understand my words, and I shall speak before thee.
And that judge to come is Yahweh Shai. You know?
It says, this is the beginning of the words of Esdras before he was taken up. And I said, O Lord, thou that dwellest in everlastingness, which beholdest from above things in the heaven and in the air, whose throne is inestimable.
Whose throne is inestimable.
Inestimable.
And that's what are men trying to do? They're trying to put a cap on the throne of Yahweh Shemel Shai, saying 1,000 years, you know, there's no real immortals, you know, don't worship him.
Yep. Going gal.
Yeah.
Going gal.
You know,
Yep.
that's putting a cap on the throne of Yahweh Shemel Shai, but his throne is inestimable, man. And if you go into inestimable, it means you can't measure it.
Yeah.
You know?
Romans 11 and 33.
Come.
You know? It says, whose glory may not be comprehended, before whom the host of angels stand with trembling.
The angels worship Yahweh Shai, and also the angels tremble at the presence of Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah, but it says that they cannot comprehend, so not even the angels comprehend the knowledge of Yahweh. So it's above their understanding.
Come.
Whose service is conversant in wind and fire, whose word is true and sayings constant, whose commandment is strong and ordinance fearful.
Who's conversant, want to get that again, public show from the top?
Verse 22, whose service is conversant in wind and fire.
Wind and fire, the word, the breath, you know,
Fire
Jeremiah
to
5 and 14, Jeremiah 23 and 29, you know, for I'll make my word fire.
It says, whose word is true and sayings constant, whose commandment is strong and ordinance fearful.
We just read that in the book of Revelation, the faithful and true, the witness of the faithful witness, you know.
Verse 24, oh, hear the prayer of thy servant and give ear to the petition of thy creature. For while I live, I will speak, and so long as I have understanding, I will answer.
God. And that's what the servants of prophet Yahweh Shemel Shai are doing. As long as we have understanding, we'll speak, you know.
Yep.
And as long as this man is still in power, we're going to prophesy, man, you know, because that's a commandment. Ezekiel 35 and 2. Set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, man. At the same time, preach, prophesy unto the children of Israel, for the kingdom is at hand, man. You know? You want anything? Got anything?
This is Sirach 25 and 7.
Come.
There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that had joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. So we're praying to see the fall of Esau, Edom. You know, we're praying to have that physician, which is Yahweh Shai, to cut off that long disease. Okay?
So with that, I think it's a good time to close on out.
Okay.
Adon Rathazah, Yahweh Rathazah, you were edified. But before we close on out, we'll turn to the east and give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash.
double honors to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And a hearty shalom to the servants of prophets, teaching and preaching in truth and sincerity, making their bodies a living sacrifice, building up the tabernacle of David through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai in these last days. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the men of valor in DTA camps, prophesying the downfall of this wicked kingdom / queendom as well. So once again, Adon Rathazah, you were edified. That's what everything's all about. Let all things be done unto edification of the church, edification of the body, feeding the sheep and feeding the flock. And so next time, Lord's will, Shalom, DTA,
Abba.
Abba.
Shalom.
Shalom.